Hello and welcome the biography of Lady Diana, one of the most iconic figures of the 20th century. Diana Frances Spencer was born on July 1, 1961, in Sandringham, Norfolk, England. She was the fourth of 5 children of John Spencer, Viscount Althorp, and his first wife, Frances Roche. Diana grew up in a privileged and aristocratic family, and from a young age, she was exposed to the world of royalty and high society. Diana's parents divorced when she was just 8 years old, and her father was granted custody of the children. Despite this, Diana remained close to her mother, who later remarried and moved to Australia. Diana attended a number of prestigious schools, including Riddlesworth Hall in Norfolk and West Heath Girls' School in Kent. In 1977, at the age of 16, Diana met Prince Charles, the eldest son of Queen Elizabeth II. At the time, Charles was 29 and unmarried, and Diana was seen as a suitable candidate to become his wife. After a brief courtship, the couple became engaged in February 1981, and their wedding took place on July 29th of the same year. The wedding was watched by millions of people around the world, and Diana's beauty and charm captured the hearts of the British public. She quickly became known as the People's Princess for her down-to-earth nature and her willingness to connect with ordinary people. Diana's role as a member of the royal family was not an easy one. She struggled with the strict protocols and expectations that came with her position, and her marriage to Charles was troubled from the start. The couple had 2 sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, but their relationship was marred by infidelity and emotional distance. Despite these difficulties, Diana used her position to become a powerful advocate for charitable causes. She was particularly concerned with issues such as HIV/AIDS, homelessness, and landmines, and she worked tirelessly to raise awareness and funding for these causes. In 1992, Diana and Charles separated, and their divorce was finalized in 1996. Diana continued to carry out her charitable work, but she also became known for her glamorous lifestyle and high-profile romances. She had relationships with a number of men, including Dodi Fayed, the son of a wealthy businessman. Tragically, Diana's life was cut short on August 31, 1997, when she was killed in a car accident in Paris. The world was shocked and saddened by her death, and millions of people around the world mourned her passing. Diana's legacy lives on today, both through her charitable work and through the continued fascination with her life and legacy. She remains one of the most beloved and iconic figures of the 20th century, and her impact on the world will be felt for generations to come. Let's take a closer look at some of the key moments in Diana's life. Diana was born into a family with a long history of aristocracy and wealth. Her father, John Spencer, was a prominent figure in British society, and her mother, Frances Roche, came from an equally distinguished family. However, despite their privileged background, Diana's parents' marriage was troubled, and they eventually divorced when she was just 8 years old. After the divorce, Diana and her siblings split their time between their father's estate at Althorp and their mother's home in London. Diana was a shy and sensitive child, and she struggled to fit in at school. She was often teased by her classmates and found solace in her love of music and dance. In 1977, when Diana was just 16 years old, she met Prince Charles for the first time. The two were introduced by a mutual friend, and Charles was immediately taken with Diana's beauty and charm. The couple began dating, and their relationship quickly became the subject of intense media scrutiny. Despite the attention, Diana and Charles became engaged in February 1981, and their wedding was a lavish affair that captured the attention of the world. Diana's dress, with its 25-foot train, became an instant classic, and her beauty and grace won over the hearts of the British public. However, behind the scenes, Diana's marriage to Charles was troubled from the start. The couple's age difference and differing interests made it difficult for them to connect, and Charles was known to be carrying on an affair with his former girlfriend, Camilla Parker Bowles. Diana struggled with the pressures of royal life and the constant media attention that came with it. She suffered from depression and bulimia, and she often felt isolated and alone. However, despite these challenges, Diana used her position to become a powerful advocate for charitable causes. One of the causes that was particularly close to Diana's heart was the fight against HIV/AIDS. In the 1980s and early 1990s, HIV/AIDS was still a relatively new and misunderstood disease, and many people were afraid of those who were infected. Diana was one of the first public figures to challenge these misconceptions, and she worked tirelessly to raise awareness and funding for research and treatment. Diana was also an advocate for the homeless and for victims of landmines. She visited homeless shelters and soup kitchens, and she famously walked through a minefield in Angola to draw attention to the devastating impact of landmines on civilian populations. Despite her charitable work, Diana's personal life continued to be the subject of intense media scrutiny. Her marriage to Charles deteriorated further, and they separated in 1992. The divorce was finalized in 1996, and Diana was granted a substantial settlement. In the years that followed, Diana became known for her glamorous lifestyle and high-profile romances. She had relationships with a number of men, including Dodi Fayed, the son of a wealthy businessman. However, her personal life was cut short when she was killed in a car accident in Paris in 1997. Diana's death sent shockwaves around the world, and millions of people mourned her passing. Her legacy lives on today, both through the continued interest in her life and through the work of the charitable organizations that she supported. In conclusion, Lady Diana was a woman who captured the hearts of people around the world with her beauty, grace, and compassion. Her life was not without its challenges, but she used her position to make a positive difference in the world. She remains an inspiration to many, and her legacy will continue to be felt for generations to come. Lady Diana was known for her humanitarian work, and she was particularly passionate about issues related to children, homeless people, and victims of landmines. In 1987, she famously opened the UK's first AIDS ward at Middlesex Hospital, where she made a point of shaking hands with patients infected with the disease, challenging the stigma that was then attached to it. Diana was also a patron of numerous charities, including the British Red Cross, the National AIDS Trust, and the Leprosy Mission. She was a vocal advocate for the rights of children, and she worked to raise awareness about issues such as child abuse and child poverty. In addition to her charitable work, Diana was also a fashion icon and a style icon. Her fashion choices were closely watched by the media, and she was known for her elegant and sophisticated style. She was particularly fond of the designs of British designer Catherine Walker, who created many of her most iconic looks. Despite her difficult marriage and her struggles with depression and bulimia, Diana remained a beloved figure throughout her life. Her death in 1997 was a shock to the world, and it sparked an outpouring of grief and mourning on a scale that had not been seen since the death of John F. Kennedy. Today, Diana's legacy lives on in many ways. Her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, have both become involved in charitable work, and they continue to honor their mother's memory through their own philanthropic efforts. In addition, the Diana, Princess of Wales Memorial Fund was established after her death to support charitable causes around the world. Overall, Lady Diana was a complex and multifaceted figure who left a lasting impact on the world. She was a style icon, a humanitarian, and a beloved figure who inspired people around the world with her compassion and grace. Her legacy will continue to be felt for generations to come. In addition to her humanitarian work, Diana was also known for her love of the arts. She was a talented pianist and dancer, and she enjoyed attending ballet and opera performances. She was also a patron of the arts, and she supported a number of cultural institutions, including the English National Ballet and the Royal Opera House. Diana was also an advocate for mental health. She was open about her struggles with depression and bulimia, and she used her platform to raise awareness about these issues. She was particularly concerned with the well-being of young people, and she worked to promote mental health services for children and adolescents. Despite her difficult marriage and the challenges she faced in her personal life, Diana remained determined to use her position to make a positive difference in the world. She was known for her empathy and her compassion, and she was able to connect with people from all walks of life. One of the most enduring images of Diana is of her holding hands with a patient at a hospital for people with HIV/AIDS. This simple gesture was a powerful symbol of her commitment to breaking down barriers and challenging stereotypes. In the years since her death, Diana has continued to be a source of inspiration for people around the world. Her legacy lives on not only through her charitable work, but also through the continued interest in her life and legacy. In recent years, there has been renewed interest in Diana's life, particularly in the wake of the controversies surrounding the royal family. The popular Netflix series The Crown has brought renewed attention to Diana's story, and there have been numerous documentaries and books exploring her life and legacy. Overall, Lady Diana was a remarkable woman who left an indelible mark on the world. She was a humanitarian, a fashion icon, and a beloved figure who inspired people around the world with her compassion and grace. Her legacy will continue to be felt for generations to come. One of the defining characteristics of Lady Diana was her ability to connect with people from all walks of life. She was known for her warmth and her empathy, and she made a point of reaching out to people who were often marginalized or overlooked. One example of this was her work with homeless people. Diana was deeply concerned about the issue of homelessness, and she made a point of visiting shelters and soup kitchens to meet with people who were struggling. She was also a patron of the homelessness charity Centerpoint, which provides support and services to young people who are homeless or at risk of homelessness. Diana was also deeply committed to the issue of landmines. In 1997, she visited Bosnia and Herzegovina to meet with victims of landmines and to raise awareness about the issue. She also worked to promote the international campaign to ban landmines, which was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1997. Another area of focus for Diana was children's issues. She was a patron of numerous children's charities, including Great Ormond Street Hospital and the Royal Marsden Hospital. She was particularly concerned with the well-being of children who were sick or disabled, and she worked to improve access to healthcare and support services for these children and their families. Despite her many accomplishments, Diana struggled with personal challenges throughout her life. Her marriage to Prince Charles was troubled, and she faced intense media scrutiny and criticism throughout her time in the public eye. However, she remained determined to use her position to make a positive difference in the world, and she was widely admired for her compassion and her commitment to charitable causes. Today, Diana's legacy lives on in many ways. Her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, continue to carry on her work through their own philanthropic efforts. In addition, the Diana, Princess of Wales Memorial Fund continues to support charitable causes around the world. Overall, Lady Diana was a remarkable woman who left an indelible mark on the world. Her compassion, her warmth, and her commitment to making a positive difference continue to inspire people around the world today. One of the things that made Lady Diana such a beloved figure was her down-to-earth nature and her willingness to connect with ordinary people. Despite her privileged background and her position as a member of the royal family, she was known for her approachability and her ability to put people at ease. This was perhaps best exemplified by her work with children. Diana had a natural rapport with children, and she was often seen interacting with young people during her public engagements. She was known for her playful and affectionate approach, and she was able to connect with children from all walks of life. Diana was also a fashion icon, and she was known for her elegant and sophisticated style. She was particularly fond of the designs of British designer Catherine Walker, who created many of her most iconic looks. Diana's fashion choices were closely watched by the media, and she used her platform to promote British fashion and to showcase emerging designers. Despite her successes, Diana faced a number of personal challenges throughout her life. Her marriage to Prince Charles was fraught with difficulties, and she faced intense media scrutiny and criticism throughout her time in the public eye. She also struggled with depression and bulimia, and she was known for her vulnerability and her openness about her own struggles. Despite these challenges, Diana remained committed to using her position to make a positive difference in the world. She was a powerful advocate for charitable causes, and she used her platform to raise awareness and funding for issues such as HIV/AIDS, homelessness, and landmines. Her legacy continues to inspire people around the world today, and her impact on the world will be felt for generations to come.